Well, thank you for your interest in the Swiss Gold Coin Initiative, an idea whose time has come, as I like to quote Victor Hugo. Now, that means I, the initiator, Thomas Jacob, and the members of the now dormant Swiss Gold Coin Association. Now, the first proposal has been presented to the Swiss Parliament in 2012, and it was rejected as expected because it was introduced by the wrong party. We worked then on a proposal for a popular initiative to amend the Swiss constitution, and it is fully developed, ready to be picked up. Our challenge back then was, of course, the financing, which, among others, things need to finance 100,000 signatures, and it will cost a ballpark number of about 1 million francs, as experience shows. And this, of course, is a lot of money on the one hand. On the other hand, if you consider that it's probably a historic project and opportunity, it is a different story. Now, the proposal has been dormant since 2015, and as can be seen on the website. But now, since December of last year, we have a former member of the association, founding member of the association, been elected as a parliamentarian, not only in the parliament, but also in the Economics Commission. It is an ideal moment to revive the idea and the project, and I wanted to present it to you in the briefest terms as possible. Some of these slides are still in German, some need to be updated, but I wanted to get it out as soon as possible, as mentioned. Needless to say, I am more than willing, I'm eager to talk to you about all the details and the possible way forward. Hope to see you soon.
This presentation is meant for the Swiss Parliament 2024. Topic: financial security for all instead of for a few, the democratization of gold. Dear parliamentarians, do you think that gold trading is an urgent topic for the Swiss legislator? If not, I can understand you. At the same time, perhaps this is precisely an opportunity for a truly non-partisan, positive initiative for the benefit of all our fellow citizens. We, from the Gold Coin Initiative, are definitely convinced of this and would like to provide you with the most important information as briefly as possible in order that you can decide for yourself whether the modest effort is worth it. Agenda. First, why gold? Second, the proposal. Third, the main advantage. Fourth, other advantages. 5, no disadvantages. And 6, the next steps. More than 11 years ago, the National Council of Switzerland said no to the parliamentary initiative called Creation of a Gold Franc. This, by the way, had nothing to do with the initiative Save Our Swiss Gold, which was rejected by the people a little later. From today's perspective, we can say the Parliament made a good decision back then. Both the name of the initiative and some discussions could have given the impression that it was about creating a parallel currency to the Swiss franc, and that was unfortunate and completely unnecessary. We have now corrected this. The new proposal focuses exclusively on simplifying and securing gold trading. The fact is, according to Pro Aurum, only 13% of Swiss people own gold today. This means that gold is mainly used by specialists and wealthy customers. Through our proposal, gold trading will be democratized, so to speak, so that even lay people and small savers can easily secure their assets. In short, gold for many instead of a few. Why gold? For thousands of years, gold was first used as a means of payment and later, under the gold standard, as an anchor for the monetary system. In 1971, President Nixon severed the last link between gold and our currencies, and here we can see the consequences for price development using the example of England, because we have the best historical data there. Since 1971, gold has served as a hedge against the uncertainties of the paper monetary system, almost like a lifebuoy for the worst-case scenario. This is exactly reflected in the gold price. In the 1970s, we had both a weak economy and inflation, and the gold price virtually exploded until the world calmed down in the 1980s and 1990s. Since the turn of millennium, uncertainties have been rising again and the gold price has risen in parallel. How can we use this to secure our assets? The graphic illustrates the logic of gold security using the example of a Swiss employee. The red curve shows how the pension fund assets developed according to legally prescribed contributions and interest rates. At the time of retirement, after 40 years of contributions, around 350,000 francs are available. If all savings amounts had instead been invested in gold, the yellow curve would have resulted. This curve shows, in good times, the saver would have acquired gold cheaply. In times of crisis, the value of gold increases disproportionately. 100% in gold is of course not a hedging strategy, so let's take instead, for example, 10%. Then, in good times, when the 90% quote normal investments perform well, gold is not needed and it is of little importance where the gold price stands for the 10%. In uncertain times, however, when the 90% perform poorly or even lose value due to inflation, these 10% gold could gain multiple times in purchasing power and alleviate or compensate for the problems with the 90%. Conclusion, quote, a franc gold combination would bring more security, unquote, as Professor Peter Bernholz, the globally renowned money and currency specialist, exhaustively explained in this NZZ article on this very proposal. The proposal. The Swiss constitution shall be amended as follows. Article 99 bis, Swiss gold coins. 1. Quote, the federal government shall define the rules for the issuance of a set of quickly and easily tradable gold coins with a solid, clearly recognizable gold content starting at 0.1 grams. The first section makes it clear that the federal government only makes regulations. There are no recurring costs or investment risks for the public. Part 2, quote, the issuance of the coins, which means the production, the coinage, the placing on the market is provided by Swiss companies. The coins bear a unified symbol of Swiss origin, indicate the gold content in grams, and are freely designed identification of the issuer. It could look something like this, the Swiss symbol, the grams in gold on one side, while the other side indicates who issued the coins and who is available for the innovative design. Now, if the issuer is stated on the coin, it is also clear who is responsible for the quality of the coins. We already know this from other products such as gold bars, jewelry and watches. Therefore, issues like fraud and counterfeiting are nothing completely new and can be dealt with and solved in the same way. Part 3, quote, the issuance, acquisition and trading of the gold coins are tax and duty free. This third section enshrines today's trade and tax freedom in the Constitution. This means we do not want to change the existing legal practice, but merely strengthen it by putting it into the Constitution. Now, why is this necessary? The main advantage. We have seen that gold enables security in times of crisis. However, this is only possible if gold trading remains unimpeded and tax-free even in times of crisis. In Switzerland, this has always been the case so far, but can we be sure that this will continue to be so? The following 3 examples are intended to illustrate that even liberal states have no mercy when important state interests are at stake. In the USA, during a currency reform in 1933, private ownership and use of gold were summarily banned. All gold was confiscated under the threat of draconian penalties. Private gold ownership remained illegal in the USA until 1976. Our northern neighbors were also affected precisely when some of them needed it most. And for those who think this is history, here is a more recent example. With an inconspicuous paragraph in the 2012 Health Reform Bill, all gold purchases and sales must be reported to the American tax authorities. The central government thus knows exactly who owns how much gold. In Switzerland, there is a state minting monopoly, and the tax exemption for gold is stipulated in the Value Added Tax Ordinance, which means that the Federal Council can alter it at will at any time. Hand on heart, is it conceivable that the federal government might, for example, succumb to pressures from abroad and suddenly impose taxes on gold trading? Currently, only 13% of gold owners would be affected. For the 87%, it would have no direct consequences, and I would not be surprised if a good number of them would be cheering. With the present proposal, the tax exemption would not be anchored in an ordinance only, but in the Constitution. And with the emergence of new, attractive and inexpensive coins, not 13%, but 95% of the population would soon own gold and be affected by taxation. This makes restrictions politically almost inconceivable. Conclusion: main advantages. Conclusion: main advantages. Gold trading becomes easier and secure even in times of crisis, and this makes gold more attractive, especially for small savers and pension fund assets. Other advantages. Today, the smallest common trading unit are 1 gram gold bars. The material costs are around 65 francs plus manufacturing and trading costs. The bar is very small and with 99.95% purity, relatively soft and not intended for everyday use. The proposed gold coins are entirely different. A 0.1 gram gold core costs around 6.5 francs in material plus manufacturing and trading costs of the coins, so one will be able to acquire real gold for under 10 francs. And since the issuer's side is available for free design, gold coins could be minted for countless purposes. For example, tourist villages can offer coins that can only be purchased on the spot locally. Anybody can order special editions for events and anniversaries for individuals or for firms. Artists can create their own collections. Bonus and incentive programs for businesses can be paid in the form of special gold coins, and for pension funds and investment saving plans, inexpensive, particularly forgery-proof coins will be developed. In the future, instead of taking wine or flowers as a gift, we will take gold coins and send them out for holiday greetings. Foreign tourists will spread Swiss gold coins worldwide, creating increasing demand for gold. In short, soon 95% of the Swiss population will be accustomed to dealing with gold coins. Are there no disadvantages? Is that possible? The simple answer is yes, simply because we don't really want to change anything or create anything new, but rather to simplify and legally safeguard and secure an existing market and legal arrangements. So, it's not about a revolution, but about evolution. Now, clearly, as always, when competition is facilitated, existing producers must adjust to competition. They will need to become more innovative, but in return, they have countless new business opportunities. Another question is the Swiss National Bank. Will its ability to act or its monetary policy be adversely affected? We are merely talking about simplifying the existing gold trade, and if a portion of assets securely flows into gold, that is not a novel issue at all. One problem for the Swiss National Bank and the export economy is that many foreigners use Swiss banknotes as a reserve currency. If in the future gold coins are bought instead of 1,000-franc notes, this will reduce the pressure on the franc's exchange rate. It is probably not a huge influence, but it will tend to help the national bank and the export economy. What about the next steps? We have talked with just about everybody in politics, and we see potential benefits for every party. And in order of voter shares, we could say, for example, that for the biggest party, the Swiss People's Party, The advantage is Swiss uniqueness. Only Switzerland does this initiative have any political chances. For the Social Democrats, it's about democratization of gold, gold for all instead of the few. For the FDP, the classical liberals, it supports their quest for legal certainty and opportunities for the financial and economic sector. For the Centre Party, it's about strengthening the middle class, small businesses and small savers. And even the Greens' interests are met because a greater interest in gold trade raises awareness of sustainable production and production conditions. We are convinced that this is a time to revitalize this project for the benefit of the Swiss population and the world as a whole. Thank you for your attention.